my first part of my video that crashed. So welcome to the Mrs. Fields oatmeal chocolate chip cookie recipe. So you'll notice that halfway through this video or shortly into this video, I will be wearing something else. And that's because I did these cookies last week and my video failed. So let's get started. So what I have here is my mixer. You do want to use a mixer. You can use a hand mixer if that's what you have, but we have a KitchenAid at school, so I was going to use my KitchenAid at home for you so you can see. I did just wash my hands. I didn't think you needed to see that portion of the recipe. So, all right, our KitchenAids at school are a little bit different. So I'm going to work with mine the way it is, and then yours at school, when we hopefully eventually get there, we will show you that again. I should probably plug it in, huh? All right, so the first part of the recipe is creaming together, which is the verb to cream. So I did soften my butter earlier today. So you just drop that in there. A half cup of sugar and a half cup of brown sugar. Okay, so half cup of sugar. Make sure it's level. And a half cup of brown sugar. And remember, with brown sugar, you need to pack it in. So I'm just going to take and kind of scoop it in there. I'm going to press it to the side. Let me grab a spoon real fast. I'm trying to get this demo done before my family comes home. Won't be. All right, then make sure you level it off. Okay, drop that in there. All right, next, what we need to do is put the pedal on the mixer. So to do that, there's this little knob that sticks out. Okay, the bottom of the mixer has kind of what looks like a key. So you match that up, you push, and you turn, and you pull down. Yours at school doesn't have this spatula feature. I just prefer to use this one because it works a little bit better. You would have a crank to crank it up into position. Mine has a lock. And then you just want to put it on torque. Okay, and you want to just get this so that it all creams together. All right, guys, so I just creamed these ingredients together. I had an issue with the video, so I'm going to splice them together just in case there's some weird feedback. I'm going to mix this a little bit longer because I have one chunk of butter. I'll be back with you in just a moment. Okay, now we're going to add the egg. So I always crack the egg into a separate bowl first. That way, if I get any shell or if I, God forbid, get a bloody egg, it doesn't end up in my baked product. Okay, now I'm going to take and I'm going to blend this in until smooth, just like we did with the creaming. Then you don't want to be at a high speed. You want to be at about a 4. Okay, I did wash my hands while I did that step, just so I always wash it after I use an egg. All right, now what I need to do is I'm going to add in my baking soda, salt, vanilla, and baking powder. Okay, so these are all going to be small amounts, so I need my measuring spoons. First, I'm going to add in salt, 1/4 teaspoon. I don't measure that over the bowl because I always tend to spill the salt. So I'll measure that over the sink. make it so you guys can see. There we go. No, maybe not. Okay, there we go. There we go. 1/4 teaspoon salt. Okay. Now we need both baking soda and baking powder. We need a 1/2 teaspoon of each of those. Remember, those do 2 different things, so you can't replace one with the other. Baking soda, that's baking soda. Now baking powder. And I'm double checking my amounts. Make sure. Okay. And then vanilla, I need a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to blend these all together, and then we're going to mix together our we are going to mix together our flour and our oatmeal. So here it is mixed together. Once it's smooth, you can stop. All right, so for our structure of our cookies, we need oatmeal and flour. You can blend the oatmeal if you want. I saw a recipe on YouTube where you could do that. But you want to mix this together in a separate bowl first. So here's my 1½ cups of oatmeal. And then I need 1 cup of flour. Now, when you think of like oatmeal raisin cookies, okay, those taste much different than this. So don't be afraid of the oatmeal. All right, remember for your flour, you want to aerate it a little bit because this is kind of packed in here, especially since I put a brand new bag in here. Okay, so then just going to lightly scoop. And then once I get this, now for these cookies, you don't need to sift. When we get into things like pie crusts, you will, because you really want to make sure you don't overdo the flour when you're dealing with pie crust. All right, so we're going to put this together in the separate bowl first, and then we're going to mix it together because we're going to take and gradually add this together. So all right. Oops, you can't see me. Sorry. All right. All right, we're going to slowly add this in. So you want to put this on low. I'm just going to add in a little at a time. Let it mix. I'm just going to slowly add this whole thing in here. All right, I'm almost at the end. So you want to just add it all in there. And then once it starts to come together, you can see that I need to now take this off of the mixer and mix by hand because it's moving. All right, so there on mine I have an unlock, so I would unlock this and I would open this up, scrape all the stuff off of the paddle here. All right, now the fun part, the last part, which I need to go grab a wooden spoon. Remember to get this, take this off. Okay, you're gonna lift up, turn, and pull down. All right, and then to get the bowl off, let me just finish scraping this. To get the bowl off, you're going to twist, and it should come right off of there. All right, so here's what it looks like now. Okay, now we get to add in the fun stuff. So we're gonna add in a Hershey bar and some chocolate chips. Now, if we were at school, we would just be adding in chocolate chips because it gets pretty pricey to add in the Hershey's chocolate, but the original recipe has this in it too. So I like to add it when I'm at home. So you can add it if you want, or you can just do chocolate chips. It's up to you. Okay, so it is a half cup of chocolate chips. So we'll add that in. Now you cannot add these in on the mixer because if you do that, then you're gonna end up breaking the mixer. Okay, so half cup. I like the mini ones for this because then all the cookies have chocolate chips in them. And then I just need to chop up the chocolate bar. And so just, and when you hold a knife, make sure you're gripping the blade with your thumb and your forefinger. It makes it a lot safer. You just rock it back and forth. So I'm going to cut this. This doesn't need to be any specific. I like making them small. So that way every cookie has lots of chocolate. All right, there we go. Put this in our bowl. You can do this with a hand mixer too. You do need to make sure when you're creaming, you use a mixer. It's really hard to cream those sugars and that butter together if you don't have some sort of mixer. And now you want to use a wooden spoon for this part, just because the spatula, it's not going to be very sturdy. Okay. Remember, don't eat your raw cookie dough because you have raw. All right, so you want to just mix this until that chocolate is all mixed together. Now, I like to use a cookie scoop, and we have cookie scoops at school to scoop these out. However, if you don't have one at home, you can use just a spoon. You just want to make sure that you are very close to the same size for each cookie. All right. Okay, so at the beginning of this video, I did preheat the oven to 400 degrees. So just so you know, I really like to use parchment paper for cookies because then they don't stick. Plus then may or may not need to clean your pan when you're done. All right, so you're just gonna scoop these out. You do need room for them to spread. Okay, they spread less if they're cold. So if you want to refrigerate them, you can. Okay. Again, I really like to use the cookie scoop. All right, I'm going to finish scooping these out and then get them. I'll show you what they look like in a minute. All right, so here we go. Here they're all scooped out, evenly spaced, room to spread. You're going to bake them for 8 to 10 minutes. I'll show you what they look like when we're. Okay, something that I thought of after I put those in the oven. When you set your timer, make sure you set it for the least amount of time. So I set it for 8 minutes because then I can go and check it and make sure that they weren't, if they're underdone, I can add the extra 2 minutes. And if they're done, then I can take them out. If not, they could end up burning and then I can't undo them burning. But I can check it at 8 minutes and add time if I need to. Okay, cookies say they're done. Don't turn off the oven. All right, I'm gonna check them. So how you check them is you take your finger and you poke it, and those are definitely not done. So I'm gonna add 2 more minutes and we'll be back in a moment. Okay, so my camera stopped on me. So hold on 1 second. All right, so these should be done now. Let me just get my oven mitt. You do want them to be soft. You just want them to not be. Okay, so those are good. And I'll show you in 1 second once I get them out of the oven. So the way that I can tell that they're done is that they are nice and golden brown. They're still soft, but they'll harden after as I let them set for a minute. All right, that's it. Thanks.